It's a game day, Seattle hockey fans, and the guys hit the ice for morning skate. Kate Shefty reported the lines for us on a game day, and I mean this with all due respect. Joey Daccord again?
You are Locked On Kraken, your daily podcast on the Seattle Kraken, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
We are the Seattle Kraken.
What's cracking, Seattle hockey fans? Welcome to another episode of Locked On Kraken, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where we bring you your favorite team, the Seattle Kraken, every single day. My name is Erica L. Ayala. I'm your host of Locked On Kraken, also the founder of Black Rosie Media, where we empower Black women and melanated creators in sports media. People just like me. I am also a contributor to CBS Sports. I write about hockey and women's basketball for CBS. I was just at a really cool event for women's basketball yesterday. Anyway, I've got some cool stuff coming up on the hockey side. We'll get into that later. Oh, man. Before I get into the topic I gave you in the open, I want to remind you, or let you know, I should say, that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. And right now you can do that because new customers will get $200 in bonus bets if your best bet of $5 or more wins. Visit fanduel.com/locked on to get started. I'll tell you more about that later. But right now I want to talk about Joey Daccord again. I'm actually going to get into maybe the why of this, and Jeff Baker, who is colleagues with Kate Shefty over at the Seattle Times, maybe walked me off the ledge. That's a bad turn of phrase. Calmed me down, brought my blood pressure down a little bit. But Kate Shefty was at morning skate reporting that Joey Daccord was the first goalie off the ice. We also know, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday, as to be expected, the McCann line, as it were now, with Eberle on the right, Tomasz Tatar on the left, Burakovsky, Wenberg, and Tanev were at morning skate, but I have a little caveat for you on that one. You know, my guys, Ellie Tolvanen, Yanni Gourde, and Oliver Bjorkstrand, our all-star. And then we have Ty Cartier, Matty Beniers, and Kyler Yamamoto. Here's my little caveat. Also, Kate Shefty reporting that Dave Haxtell said that Jaden Schwartz, to complete our Triple J, had a maintenance day, so he did not participate in morning skate, is available tonight. So, barring anything that maybe is a little too tight or isn't feeling right, we're expecting Jaden Schwartz to slide back in with Bjorkstrand and Wenberg, which would likely bring Tanev to that line with Cartier and Beniers and render Kyler Yamamoto as a healthy scratch. On the defensive side, nothing changes there. We're seeing Dumoulin. I wrote it down as Dumo. Dumoulin and Schultz. I wrote all the nicknames down, so that's why I read it that way. Anyway, Brian Dumoulin, a.k.a. Dumo, or that's what I call him, and Schultz. And again, Jeff Baker maybe helping us read into the tea leaves, but as you know, we've been talking about this for a while. Tough go for Justin Schultz early on, and then of course he had that OT game winner. That was very nice, but we're also getting close to trade deadline time. And the reason I'm talking about Schultz in particular is because with Schultz in the lineup, that means Riker Evans is a scratch. He's a scratch. And again, we'll get into that later on in the show. But those are your lines for today's game. Oh, okay. We're playing the San Jose Sharks. We're playing the San Jose Sharks on the road. This is game number 50. What do we know about the Sharks? They have 30 points on the season, 13-32, yikes, and 4. Their away record, which is it's their away record is 5-19-2. This is a home game for them. They're playing in the Shark Tank, but I wanted to start there. They are 8-13-2 at home. The Seattle Kraken away are 10-9-6, 11-9-4 at home. Now here's where it gets maybe a little interesting. The Seattle Kraken 5-4-1 in our last 10. The Sharks 4-5-1 in their last 10. And starting to maybe feel it a little. Got a good win against the LA Kings. Got a good win against the Rangers. So we're getting a team that's feeling pretty good, pretty great, pretty good. How are you? I don't know, Kraken. How are you feeling? How are we feeling? How's Joey Daccord feeling? I'm going to get into that in a little bit. We got to be careful. Tomas Hertl is their leading point scorer with 34 points. I did see some reporting, though, that he might not suit up for tonight's game. Just something to keep in mind. Our leading point scorer is our all-star, Oliver Bjorkstrand. You'll love to see it. This is our final game before the all-star break. Matty Beniers talked to media today, and he's like, oh, yeah, I have some fun things planned. He was not going to share what those plans were. Good for him. And he said, effectively, he's ready to put hockey down for a little bit. Good for him. Love that for you, kid. I need a vacation as well. But if the Seattle Kraken should win tonight, and oh boy, they better, this would give Kraken 7 wins against a single opponent for the first time in franchise history. Now, let's not get too excited. I mean, it is the San Jose Sharks we're talking about here. Am I right? I mean, come on. But that being said, we cannot take them lightly. We have to play our game. And I'm just going to say it. I've been thinking it since yesterday. I kind of let loose a little yesterday. Empty the tank in the Shark Tank. I don't want to see us futzing around. Okay? Let's not play games. Get the win and go home or wherever you're going. We know where Ali is going. We also know where Ali is not going, right? Airbnb canceled. Poor guy. So just go get the win. Get the freaking win. I don't want to play games with this team. Now, the good news is that last time we played this team, November 22nd, we won the game 7-1. So 32% off your Alaska Airlines tickets, if you know what I mean. Jokes aside, we got the win. I think people are a little put out. We didn't get a shutout, but what can you do? I'll tell you what the Kraken can do. Focus on the things that they want. What did we hear from Dave yesterday? He said it's got to come from the defensive end. Have to be locked in defensively. You do not want to get taken by surprise by a team that's starting to get their confidence back. They got their captain back from injury. Missed the first, 45 games? All right. We don't want that. I also like what Vince Dunn said. Dunner talking about a game like this takes a little bit of extra focus. And he was saying that because this is the last game before whatever their vacation plans are. We know what Ali is going to be doing. But what are the other guys looking forward to? Who knows? Some time off, fun in the sun, some sleep. Who knows? So I liked that. You have to take it's going to take a little extra focus. Now, this is why I've seen the Kraken Twitter streets. You're not the only one that's a little nervous. We're talking about we have to be defensively sound. We're talking about this game's going to take some extra focus. And we're talking about riding Joey Daccord all the way through to All-Star. You can't see me if you're listening on audio, but I am squinting my eyes because on paper we should win this game in a big way. I'm a little bit worried about our habits. And it's been a long, winding, tough, emotional roller coaster for this team. All the injuries, that losing streak, the winning streak, the end of the winning streak. overtime, losses. Just, it's been tough. It's been tough. It's fatigue. Finish strong, boys. Finish strong. We have to finish strong. I do have some questions, though. As I mentioned, Daccord again, but I'm going to tell you why I have hope. And I mentioned it yesterday, and I know some of you engaged, thank you so much, on social media, on Twitter, about my leadership comments from yesterday. And guess what? We're going right back to it again today, because I didn't even realize this, but effectively Jeff Baker agrees with me, and I'll tell you why coming up on today's episode of Locked on Kraken. Today's episode of Locked on Kraken is brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. Now, we know it is a big time of year. It is happy Super Bowl to all who celebrate from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And if you're like most people, Super Bowl Sunday is all about scoring the best seat on the couch, grabbing your favorite football snacks, and placing some super bets. I have some snackies right here. They're probably good for the Super Bowl. But I'm not here to tell you about my snacks. I'm here to tell you about how you can make the best of your bets by using FanDuel. That is because FanDuel has so many ways to end the season, the football season at least, with a W or 2 or 3. Now you can bet on who will win Super Bowl 58, but also you can bet on which player will score a touchdown, how many points will be scored, how many references to Taylor Swift, will we see swag surf? Okay, not those last two, but that would be kind of fun as well. But you can also bet on the NHL. I want to give you the odds today. The Seattle Kraken on the money line, a -230, plus 188 on your money line for the San Jose Sharks. The Sharks are also under 5.5. They have an over 5.5 for the Seattle Kraken. So again, plenty of ways for you to make the most out of your bets, out of your money, only on FanDuel. And new customers, if you join today, you'll get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5, $5 or more dollars, wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to sign up. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the National Football League. Today's episode also brought to you by our friends at Factor. Now, maybe you're still holding fast and staying true to your New Year's resolution, which was to be more mindful, or maybe to eat healthier, or maybe to create more time. Like, what would you do with infinite time? I'm listening to an audiobook, and that's one of the prompts. It's very beautiful. And one way that you can do that is with Factor, because Factor's ready-to-eat meals, it takes all of the prep work and planning out of it. They will deliver straight to you, no stress. It sets you up for success in the new year. And that's what we all want, right? You can skip the grocery stores, again, the prep work, and even cooking fatigue. I never get eating fatigue, but I do get cooking fatigue from time to time. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. And with over 35 meals to choose from per week, including keto options, calorie-smart options, vegan and veggie options, and so many more, not to mention the 55 weekly add-ons, you'll have plenty of nutritious and flavorful options to kickstart your resolution. I am someone who's always on the move. I don't have access, at least not easy access, to fresh produce and good groceries. So I tell you, having meals delivered, having meals and produce and even some snacks. I told you I like my snackies. Having it delivered right to my door is the best. It's absolutely the best. So head to factormeals.com/LockedOnNHL50. Use code LockedOnNHL50 to get 50% off. That's code LockedOnNHL50 at factormeals.com/LockedOnNHL50 to get 50% off your order. Happy snacking, happy meal prepping, just happy you. Good luck. Go get your meals from Factor. What up, fam? Another episode here of Locked On Kraken, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, which you can listen to on the Sirius SXM app. You know, I like to tell you about the Sirius SXM app on a game day because you can listen to your having a little bit of trouble pronouncing words today. You can listen to your preferred, there it is, broadcast on Sirius SXM. You want to listen to Everett and Al? Of course you do. Well, you can listen on Sirius SXM, even if you don't listen on iHeartRadio or, on the Kraken audio network or, whatever you got going on. You can find it on Sirius SXM. Maybe you want to listen to the opposing broadcast. You can listen to that too on Sirius SXM. Also, don't forget to check out Locked On Sports Today, our 24/7 streaming channel. Locked On NHL is a part of that channel. I just did the last women's hockey spotlight on there, talking about the PWHL, talking about the women's Beanpot, which was amazing. So go check that out. Joey Daccord again. Now, granted, we know Coach Hack is not talking about goalies. So this is only by what we know to be the nature of hockey players. First goalie off the ice, usually the goalie you're going to see in net. And I mentioned this yesterday. When do we have to start getting worried about fatigue for Joey Dax? Now he's a young guy, young, scrappy, hungry, just like the Hamilton song. But I'm a little bit worried. But I like this quote from an article from, I almost said Dave Haxtell. Maybe he writes, I don't know. This is from Jeff Baker in yesterday's Seattle Times. Listen to this quote. Without saying it out loud, the Kraken's decision to play goalie Joey Daccord for the 19th time in the past 21 games almost certainly is a signal that they'll ride this season out on his back with Philip Grubauer as the backup. First question of the day is, how are we feeling about that, fam? As much hate as you give to that man, Philip Grubauer, you know who you are. How are we feeling about that? Listen, I understand it. I completely understand it. And I think it's the right move to make Joey Dax, to give him the majority of the starts. I do. And with one game to go on the road against the San Jose Sharks, do we need to be starting Joey Daccord? Or can we maybe give the guy a little rest? Because it's not like he hasn't earned it, okay? Maybe just give him a little bit of rest. Unless, is it Philip that still needs some rest? I am not speculating. I'm asking a genuine question. And I think it's apropos. Because what did I say the other day? Give me Philip Grubauer in the playoffs last year every single day. If that man needs ice baths, trips to the sauna, just Groovy Steins all day, whatever he needs to play the way he played for us in the playoffs, do it. Do it. Is this what that is? I don't know. Maybe it's like, what's one more game for Joey Dax? I said I wanted the Kraken to empty the tank. It's going to start with our netminder. It's going to start with our goalie. But there's also a part of me that thinks, they had a term in the NBA that was very popular at the time, effectively like personnel and player management. I would like a little bit of that because goodness me, the Seattle Kraken have not been healthy all season. So Joey in net again, this has nothing to do with how I think Joey will perform. He's going to be fine until he's not. Until he is not. So what's going on? What's going on there? What I think is going on, and we're going to talk a little bit about this in the last segment, and Jeff alludes to this, but I said it yesterday. I didn't even see this article until today, but I said it yesterday. This team has got to play with some urgency. Everybody's been talking in the last few days that they know that they're just outside the playoff picture. They got to keep fighting. Matty B mentioned it today. Vince Dunn mentioned it yesterday. Jared McCann and Jordan Eberle mentioned it after the last win against the Blue Jackets. So by having Joey and net, this, I hope what this is signaling is that we're taking all games seriously. Hashtag no days off. I mean, against the Sharks, when in theory you have two healthy goaltenders, I think Philip Grubauer could handle that. But, I'm not the coach. I am not in the locker room. So, I don't know. But I'm going to read you something from Jeff's article that I think hits on what I spoke to yesterday and what I firmly believe about Eberle's leadership and why we're hearing more from him and why we're seeing more from him. This man is on a mission. We talked about it last year with Jared McCann, who's also on a mission. And did I mention, got my handy dandy notes right here, that these two are on the same line together now? What did we talk about last year? McCann said he wants to be in the playoffs. He wants to compete for a Stanley Cup. And he was fired up down the stretch last year. We got to get there. We got to put ourselves in playoff contention. And I think those two right there, the double J, plus with Jaden Schwartz, they're not on the same line. But Triple J is letting us know what they think of this season and what they need to get done right now. And I, for one, am here for it. I'm here for it. I also think Jeff made some interesting observations regarding the upcoming trade deadline. I alluded to it with Justin Schultz. We've been talking about it all season. If you are a Locked On Kraken insider, you already know where I'm going with this. You know that I asked Justin flat out about if he's thinking about free agency. But there's some other guys that we got to account for with the books, with the contracts. And Jeff made some interesting points. We're going to talk about that next on this game day. Oof, it's a game day. I'm fired up. It's a game day episode of Locked On Kraken. Today's episode of Locked On Kraken also brought to you by our friends at eBay Motors. Passion! I got a lot of passion today. Drive and patience. I didn't have so much patience earlier today, but that's another story. Passion, drive, and patience, what brings home the winning trophy, is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance, from superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, even LED lights. Whether you're into speed, power, style, I'll take all three. eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with the eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not your moolah. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Get your ride or die. Keep your ride or die alive, at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available for U.S. customers. All right, boys, what's it going to be? I want to win. I want to win in a big way. We did 7-1 last time. No goals. No goals, Joey. No goals, Joey. For what? For what? No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. What are we looking at here? Our power play at a 21.9% clip, 16.7 for the Sharkies. That is 22nd overall. They also are dead last on the PK. And, we want to tighten up our power play. So maybe this is an opportunity tonight. We're at a 78.7% clip, just in the top 20. Face-offs, that's another area I want to see us work on. Actually, the Sharks, 50.5%, 15th overall in the league. Oof, we're 47.5. 25th in league in face-offs. We're averaging just a scotch under 3 goals a game, 27th overall. Offense, where's it coming from? Talked about it yesterday. We're giving up 2.88, but the Sharks are giving up 3.92. That's the most in the league, aka they're last in that category. We got to get the offense going. I like this game for us, knowing that we got to get the offense going. And we got to get the offense going, and it's going to come from, I'd say about 5 guys. You already know. Tolvey, Gord, Bjorkstrand. I like that line. I'm into it. McCann, Eberle. I'm focused on them, but let's not forget Tomas Tatar. So I guess I'll add 6. Tomas Tatar. I had a special moment. I called a hockey game where he scored by getting to the net. I want to see more of that from Tomas Tatar. A little bit more Tatar in front of net. I think this is a good game for that as well. The focus on Eberle and McCann, they are giving us the same leadership, that same fire that they gave us leading to the playoff run last year, to get us into the playoffs last year. And again, in his article, you hear or you read that that's what Jeff's talking about that Eberle getting on a line with McCann, those two connecting. We talked about what Dave said the other day. We went with that line when we lost Maddie for a few games up the middle. Jared stepped into the middle. That line showed a bit of chemistry early on, and we've stayed with it, and they're continuing to produce, especially on the offensive side. We need goals. We need to be serious on offense, and it's coming from those guys. Riker Evans being a scratch, Justin Schultz in the lineup. We're going to have to talk about this a little bit more in the weeks to come on the other side of the All-Star break. But to me, I don't feel the same way that I did earlier in the season about Schultz getting time and Riker Evans sitting, being all about maybe trying to find a space for Justin in the trade deadline market. I don't necessarily feel that way anymore, but I'm not saying it's not an option. I think it could definitely still be an option, so we got to watch out for that. I don't think we need Daccord in net tonight, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe it won't happen. I'm assuming we are going to see Jaden Schwartz. I would love to see him in this game, but if he needs the rest, I'm okay with that as well. Yamamoto is going to be just fine for us. But again, I'm gonna say what I said yesterday. The way that I'm hearing Jordan Eberle speak, he's seriously committed to getting this team in the right mentality to make a push for the playoffs. Again, we've got Nashville, we've got St. Louis, and we got LA in front of us when it comes to the wild card. And Eberle, even when he's getting the Davy Jones hat, he's not settling. And I don't think the Seattle Kraken should settle. We can't, fam. Not the way we came out of the gate. Not the way we came out of the gate. Empty the tank, boys. Give it all you got. Exercise the muscle, the winning ways, the Kraken way. Play Kraken hockey, baby. Play aggressive. Forechecking. I want to see clean defense. All right? And play smart. The Sharks are eventually, if this game goes the way we think, they're going to try and get into our heads. They're going to try to be physical with us. Boys, you're so close to your flight to the beach. Play smart. Don't get into it. Play aggressive. I want everyone to play this game like Yanni Gord. I probably just could have said that and did the podcast. I want everyone to play the way Yanni plays. One speed, downhill, all game. Just for the audio folks, I'm like crushing my hand. I want us to crush the San Jose Sharks. And it's not even really about them. It's about us. Go in with the confidence that you can crush anybody. That's what I want to see. That's what we need to see. And we need to get the win tonight. Until our next episode of Locked On Kraken, be kind to yourselves. Be kind to one another. And let's be kind to Joey Daccord. Get that man some rest. Hold fast, stay true, and loud and proud we say tonight, let's go Kraken. I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.